him from the yard.
This is Don the Diecast Pirate. Today I have for you the restorations for the Pay It Forward cars. So we have this U.S. custom Corvette that rolls a little crooked, and we just did one of these, but you know what? These are... And then the Hong Kong hot heap was in the interior and the glass and everything. I think the Vette should be a pretty straightforward restoration. And we're going to have to use some reproduction parts on the hot heap. That being said, if you don't know how these cars came to be in my possession, so I had bought an auction of 3 King Cudas. The club cars, the chrome ones, off of eBay. And I was kind of bummed that I spent so much on them, but at the same time, it was, you know, it was a really good deal for individually. The price was great, you know, pretty good for pretty decent for each one. So that being said, the seller mixed up the shipments and he sent my 3 cars to somebody else, and he sent somebody else's car to me, which was a hot heap. And I opened it up, and at that time I had been buying so many cars, I'm like, I don't remember buying a hot heap. I guess I did, but this is way too nice for what I buy. And he contacted me, and I said, yeah, I got it, and I packed it back up and sent it back to him. He not only refunded my money, he sent me the 3 cars for free, but he also put these in with them. Now, and I said, you know, I showed him in another video, said, and I'm gonna pay it forward. I'm gonna give these cars away, and this is to celebrate 500 subscribers. Okay, so that's what these cars are for. I decided I'm gonna give them away. And that's what we're going to do. So let's get them up on the turntable and take a look at them. Alright, so we'll start with this U.S. custom Corvette first. And I was wondering on that other one why it had mediums tires front and back. And I put the smalls on the front when I restored it, as I like the look of them better. I think on this one we are going to go back with the mediums. But somebody commented on the picture that I put on Facebook of the U.S. custom Corvette that I restored alongside a Hong Kong custom Corvette that I bought in restored condition, and they're both, you know, painted the root beer color. But somebody commented and said that the U.S. car is supposed to have the same size front and back. I'm like, okay, well now that makes sense why that car had mediums front and back. So we'll more than likely do that with this one just to make it a true restoration. So that being said, you can see that there's a lot of paint pops and paint missing, and when they stamped the back it kind of put that half moon in it. We'll get that all cleaned up and everything. Taking a look at it, you know, we'll get the base all cleaned up and shined and everything. These tires are not too bad. They do show some play wear. I may see if I can pull those off of there. But we'll definitely go with the deep dish on this. when we go to restore it. I think the glass and the interior and everything will clean up just fine. Hopefully we don't run into another brittle interior. I will be very careful when I pull it out and examine it, and you know, we'll get that cleaned up and put back in and everything. That being said, let's get the other one up on the turntable. So here's the hot heap in the Spectra Flame Green. You can see it has a lot of corrosion and whatnot on it, a lot of dust, and the chrome's gone off the engine. The interior and the glass are missing. Now, these tires really look good. And I don't know, I may... Again, you know, we'll have to see if maybe we can clean those up, because I can pull these axles out and leave the tires on. I don't have to take them off. We may just retouch those centers and keep these original wheels on this car. But you know, we'll get it torn down and taken apart and everything, and get it stripped, and we'll get everything polished up. I do have, thanks to Vince at Second Chance Redlines, a replacement windshield for it, and also he sent me a replacement reproduction interior for it with steering wheel, and he actually gave this to me. So we're going to use these to restore this car. So that being said, let's get them both up on the turntable together. And these are the pay it forward cars. Red and green. I think Christmas time is the perfect time to do a red and green car. So we will be going back to the original colors on both of these. I'm super excited to get these done for you guys and do my pay it forward to celebrate 500 subscribers on YouTube. And you guys are the best, and I love you, and I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all the likes and the comments and the interaction we have. And let's get these things taken apart and see what we're looking at. Alright, I think I have these things taken apart enough to or drilled apart enough to get them apart. We'll start with the Vette. I hope. Alright. So the back is loose. That front, it looks like it should come apart, but I may have to drill it just a tad more. I'd rather not drill it if I don't have to. At this point, just because it's almost there, and just need to get in there. There we go. There we go. So there it is. Got a little bit of fuzz going on there that came right out. So yeah, that'll clean up nice. Well, maybe we'll try. It looks like maybe 3 of these wheels will come off. There's 1, 2, 3, and those are the ones that were partially off. Now this one, there we go. We got all 4 of those come off of there just like that. Alright, we'll set those aside. So let's take a look at this interior. I had problems on the other one getting my fingers in there, so I grabbed my Leatherman here to pull it out. There we go. So let's just take a look at this interior here. That glass will clean up nice, I'm sure. Interior will clean up nice as well. And this one's nice and soft, just like that replacement one that I got off of eBay for the other car. So that'll clean up good too, and that won't break. So I'm really excited about that. We'll get the body Get these posts cleaned up and drilled and tapped. We'll get it to the stripper. And then let's take a look at the hot heap. Now, it's been a long time since I've even seen a video about a hot heap. So, oh, there it comes. Whoop. Okay. So apparently, on this car, the interior holds the engine in. Or not the interior, the base. Yeah, so the base holds the engine, and that's going to be fun to put back together. So as soon as I lifted that base up, it just fell right out. So here's the body. We'll get that taken to the stripper, get it all cleaned up. I do see some casting lines on there, but I'm going to leave those because this is a Sweet 16. I'm not going to try to clean that up too much as far as that goes. I know on the other Vette that I did, so that hood's just rubbing just a little bit right there, and I'll do the same thing with this one that I did on that other one. I just want this flat file here. So we'll get this opened up. And how did I do that? How did I go about? No, I think okay, show it on camera. So I'm going up in this way, and I'm holding the hood so it's not fouling the hood at all. I'm just opening up this edge a little bit, right? So that way, we'll just go a little bit on this side too. All right. And now that, let's see, right there. And I think it's just on this corner right here. Not sure what that is. We'll get yeah, now that's closing nicely and not rubbing at all. So then we have the base, and I'm kind of curious. I'm gonna go ahead and pull these parts out of here because I've never had a hot heap part before. So here's that replacement glass. And here's that interior. Now, okay. Let's get this right here, and there's a little bit of flash right there. Or not. Okay. Okay. I'm not going to push this down in. There's a little clip there that snaps on this. So then let's just take a look here. Looks like, okay, so the glass won't go in far enough to hook underneath the edge in there. So the interior and the glass will go in together. All right. So we'll just set those aside for now. we'll get this engine cleaned up, and then I'm going to use the Molotov pen on it to rechrome it. So we'll get that done too. Has a lot of fuzzies on it because I dropped it on the floor. We'll get that cleaned up. We'll get these axles out here. Let me see if I can get these out again without There's one side. There we go. The other side out. No. There we go. There it is. Alright, there's those. And there's only one post on the hot heap. So we'll get that cleaned up and drilled and tapped as well. Get these to we'll have to put all of this through the paint stripper to get that original paint off that grill. So we're not going back over top of that, and then the same with Interesting. Well, anyway, I probably won't take this black off of this one. We'll just go over top of it when I repaint it. I don't want to put this through the awesome sauce. So, yeah. Alright, so we'll get everything cleaned up and come back, and we'll show you the parts, and then we'll get everything polished up and so on. Alright. Alright, so I just got back from the sink and stripping and dipping the parts in the lime away in water and everything. So let's get started with the good stuff, and then we'll show you the bad. Get this over here. So the interior, as I knew, cleaned up very nicely, so we'll get that set aside for reassembly. The glass cleaned up perfectly. We'll dip that in the floor shine just to remedy any light scuffing or incidentals on it. Those will disappear completely in the floor shine. Got the motor cleaned up for the hot heat. We'll let that sit and dry, and then I'll come back with the Molotov and re-chrome that. Now I decided to try re-chroming these, and I'm not liking how they came out. These are the wheels off the Corvette. We're not going to use those. The other two are worse. Like, that just looks so bad. So we're not going to use those at all. Now that being said, here's the ones off the hot heap. Now these are the medium fronts, and those are almost perfect. I do wish that Redline was redder, but these are original, so we're gonna let it go with that. And here's the large in the back, and these really, I mean, there's some scuffs and stuff on them, but they almost show no play wear. So we're going to put these back on and keep that as original as possible, because we had to replace the interior and the glass in it. So take a look at the bad. Okay. No, this is good. This will polish up nicely. It is super shiny. The Hot Heap base. We have the Hot Heap body. It didn't take all the paint off. And I'm thinking what I may do is go ahead and run this through a cycle in the ultrasonic cleaner, just to remove any residual residue from this Spectraflame paint and all these little crevices. I might see if I can take my pick and remove it that way too. If I can, then I'll go ahead and get this polished up. We'll get it buffed and polished. The base on the Corvette was really toned. I think it did clean up nicely. We'll go ahead and get this buffed and polished as well. And yeah, so there's that. And then the Corvette body, under the paint was super shiny, and I did put it in the Limoillen water and it turned the shiny stuff a little darker. But I think this is going to polish up nicely. You know, we got some pitting and stuff on there, but I think when we'll buff it and we'll polish it, and we'll see how that's going to come back. With that pitting in the roof, though, we may end up having to go with the base coat on this one. That engine turned really black. So, yeah. Live and learn. Okay, so that's what I was kind of thinking of. On this nose, I wanted to see if I can get it on the camera here. That little thing that's sticking out right there. I'm not trying to. I think that just little thing poking out just took away from the car too much. I mean, there's some casting lines and things like that on this car that are original to it, and we're going to leave those. But that little thing on the front was bad, so we'll get rid of that. And I think, yeah. All right. So there we are with that. We'll get these to the next step off camera. More than likely we will come back when I'm getting ready for paint. Or maybe I'll show some of the polishing after it's done. So, alright. Alright. So I just did the buffing with this the light wheel, not the coarse, it's the fine one, which is all I use on these really. I mean, there's the 3 coarsenesses that I bought, they all came together off of Amazon, and I didn't find those. I heard about them from somebody else, and I will put, well, I can't put a link in the description. I'm trying to remember the channel. It's not. I'm stumbling over my words. It's late at night. Okay, I can't remember who turned me on to these. I think I do. If I find it, I'll put a link in the description. But here's that U.S. custom Corvette base, and you see all the toning buffed out. So this will polish up nicely. The Hot Heat base, we're not even going to polish this. I did take that buffing pad over the tops of the exhaust, so maybe we'll just buff the tops of those exhausts. But the rest of this, we're not even going to. We'll just leave it just the way it is, and I'll paint that grill back in. So the body on the Corvette, most of that pitting has kind of disappeared. So again, we'll go ahead and we'll polish this up. Now, that engine is kind of dark. I think we're just going to go ahead and leave that, because when this is on display, you're not going to see it anyway. And then the body on the hot heap, this thing has so many angles, and I had to get the buffing wheel to wear down to get into a lot of these places. But I think when I polish it, we'll really get in there with some of my different polishing pads, and we'll get this polished up nicely. The bottom is almost perfect. The top has the most, so I probably won't even worry about trying to polish the bottom of this. We'll just polish the top. But again, I know I said I wasn't going to take anything off of this car as far as casting lines go, but there's this little thing sticking out right there. Let's see if I can get it to show up on camera. Right there on the back of that fender, and I just want to take that off just because it's poking out and it's slightly sharp. But just that little bit. I don't want to take anything else away from this. Yeah. And I was able to take my dental pick and get in and get the rest of the paint off that didn't come out. So we'll get these all polished up, and then I think the next step is when I'm ready for paint. And we already know what the colors are going to be, but I think I'm going to try something different this time, and I'll show you what that is when it comes time to paint. Alright. The shine on these cars will be brought to you by Flitz. Alright, so here we have it, and I am astonished by the results on these. I knew pretty sure that the hot heap would come back okay. There's some tight crevices I couldn't get into, but that's okay. But really, I am amazed at the results on the base on this Vette, because this was dark, and I used that buffing wheel on it and polished it, and it is super shiny. The body as well, and this is before I even take it and clean them up. So we got to get them degreased and everything and get them prepped for paint. I did forget to buff the tops of these pipes on here. I'm going to go ahead and do that again, and then we'll come back when we're ready for paint. Okay, so as I said, we're going back to the original colors on these. So here is the red. Let's put some white on here. Here's the red for the Redline shop, and we have the green Spectra Flame color from the Redline shop. And I'm also thinking about adding reducer, and that'll make the colors a little bit lighter, not quite so deep as some of the other ones I've done, and maybe a little bit closer to the original. So it's usually 5 parts of paint to 1 part of hardener, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 4 parts paint, 1 part reducer, and then 1 part of the hardener. So I also wanted to show you this real quick. I took the Molotow pen last night and re-chromed the engine for the hot heap, so we'll get that out of the way, and we're going to go ahead and get the hot heap out of the way for now. And we'll go ahead and get these painted. So I'm going to paint the Vette first, and then we'll come back and paint the hot heap. And then the next thing after that you will see is the final assembly. I do want to make a note of one thing quickly before I go. I decided before I start painting, wrong box here. So I decided, instead of going with the smalls on the front for the Corvette, we are going to use the 4 mediums of the deep dish. Now, there was one other thing I was kind of torn about, And I don't know if I already showed these. I think I did. Showed these touched up wheels for the hot heap. Because you can't go better than original, right? And those reproduction wheels look so good, but you're not going to get, I mean, unless the red line's really crisp and you have the original chrome, you're not going to get better original red line wheels than this. And the only way to get these off these axles would be to cut them. And I posted a picture of them on Instagram and asked the question, and 100% every single person said keep the originals. And my question was, should I keep these or bite the bullet, cut them off, and use the deep dish reproductions? And everyone 100% said keep the originals, which is what I really wanted to do. So that just eases my mind that, you know, they don't have that deep dish look to them, but these are the original wheels for this car, and that's going to be perfect for what we're doing. Okay. I'll get set up for paint, and we'll come back. Okay, so I just polished the bases. The bodies are painted. Figured to go ahead and bring you guys back while I'm getting these tires put on here. Oh, yeah.
Trying to do something that won't work.
All right, now. Get my dental pick out here again to put these axles in. And take my glasses off so I can get much closer with my face. Yay. Alright. And this base provides its own unique set of challenges because it's so short, and it's actually not too bad. Alright, let's see if we can get the front one in that easy.
Knock on something.
Yeah. Alright. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Alright. Pretty good on that one. Let's see if we can get these deep dish wheels, red lines, on the Corvette chassis. Alright, now this axle I can tell is really bent. See if we can straighten that out. Same with this one. And that back looks bent forward a little bit, maybe. Come on now, Don, get with the program. All right. No, we went too far. Let's go back the other way. Alright. Get it under the camera, Don. Keep it in focus now. Alright. 1. Nah, we don't want to go that way. We want to go this way, so when I push the tool against the base, it keeps the axle where it's supposed to be. Alright. Whoop. Alright, let's see how they roll. The angle, it goes straight back, but it angles to the right on forward. Still does a little bit. Alright. That actually rolls pretty straight. So, alright, good enough. Let's get our pieces and parts out here. I've got everything all set to go. We are waiting for the bodies to dry. Well, the second one to dry and both of them to cool down. Come back, get these reassembled, and here's that glass for the Vette dipped in the floor shine. That is so beautiful. All right. We will be back for the reveal. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to present to you my double Redline restoration of the Pay It Forward cars. Here's the U.S. Custom Corvette and the Hong Kong Hot Heap. Let's get them up on the turntable and take a look at them. So that being said, you can see that there's a lot of paint pops and paint missing, and when they stamped the back, it kind of put that half moon in it. We'll get that all cleaned up and everything. So here's the Corvette. We restored it in red with those deep dish Redline wheels from Bright Vision Wheels. Went with the flat black Tamiya for the grills. And red Sharpie for the taillights. Polished it, stripped it, polished it, drilled and tapped it, painted it, dipped the glass in the floor shine. I think this one's a thing of beauty. So here's the Hot Heap in the Spectra Flame Green. You can see it has a lot of corrosion and whatnot on it, a lot of dust, and the chrome's gone off the engine. The interior and the glass are missing. So here's the Hong Kong Hot Heap restored in that fabulous Spectra Flame Green. Flat black on the grill. Used the Molotov to re-chrome the engine and the hubs on the wheels. These are the original Redlines. Got the reproduction glass from Second Chance Redlines, and Vince at Second Chance Redlines gave me the interior for this, and it's going on to you. So we stripped this one, polished it, drilled and tapped it, painted it. Really didn't have to polish the base. It's still the original shine. I did put Renaissance wax on the bases of both of these cars. And these are the pay it forward cars. Red and green. I think Christmas time is the perfect time to do a red and green car. So we will be going back to the original colors on both of these. And I am super excited to get these done and get it for you guys. So here they are together. I just love the way the light shines off of the paint on these. Somebody mentioned in my last video, my lighting doesn't do the cars justice. Well, you know, I like to see that shine the way it goes as it comes around. If I get it light too bright, it kind of washes out. So I don't know. Had somebody mention, you know, that I should take pictures of my cars against a white background, but I like letting my cars live in their natural habitat. I think a white background is just too stark. It's not the way, it's not my preference. So anyway, guys, these are going to be given away. Just put a holiday greeting in the comments below if you'd like to win both of these cars. They are going to the same person. Continental US or Canada. Again, these cars were given to me by an eBay seller, and I just knew when I got them that I was going to restore them to give away to you guys. And this is to celebrate 500 subscribers. You know, I really appreciate you guys. Diecast International Builders. January is the four-door muscle cars. February is rat rods. March is the Mercedes. February 14th is the Love Boat build. Hope you'll join us for that too. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Leave a comment down below. Click that like button and ring the bell for notifications. As always, this is Don, the Diecast Pirate, and I'll see you next time.